I'm trying to do this Vlogmas. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to do the best I can. So today I'm going to talk about another part of how I have adjusted to being a senior. It's very hard for me to say that. I am a senior citizen. I am 62 years old. I am an old woman. But I'm also single. And I'm alone. Really alone. I have no kids. I have no family. 30 years ago, actually, no, 35 years ago, I moved to this city. And I fell in love with it. Before I moved to this city, I have lived apart from my family. I've lived near them for a few years. I actually lived with my mom. But for the most part, in the 80s, I moved to Boston. And in 1990, I came back to Boston. In 89, I went back home, and then in 90, I came back to Boston. My family is down in the DC area. And so I live alone. And since I'm single, I don't have any kids. I don't have anybody around. I used to have a circle of friends, but a lot of that circle was around drugs or partying. I know one group I used to hang with, I was the person that would show up with the 1800 reposada and chocolate. We talked about that yesterday. So, I always feel like such a freak when I admit this part. I have not driven since 1984. I am not an animal. I'm paraphrasing. Is that the Phantom of the Opera or the Elephant Man? One of those. I had I tell different variations of this story. I tell sometimes that I had a real close call and it just shook me up. But the real truth is, I've had dreams that come true. And I had this dream about me going at a red light. I'm at this red light. And the minute it turns green, I would go. In this dream, I go and a car is like maybe running a yellow light. I think they actually ran a red light. You know how people see the yellow light back there and he slams into me, and a little girl comes flying out of the car. I think she came out the side window, and she lands on my windshield, and then a few seconds later my windshield peels in and she lands right on my steering wheel with the airbag and all that stuff. Anyways, when my license expired in 84, because I would have this dream a few times. I've had other dreams that have come true. I dreamt about a refrigerator when I was 6 years old and actually saw that refrigerator, or ended up getting that refrigerator when I was in Japan. So I just stopped. That's the real reason. I tell other people that it's because I don't like paperwork or I like the freedom. And then once I stopped driving, I did like the freedom. The whole thing with cars was that they were always so complicated. You always, you have to maintain them. You have to make sure the paperwork is legal. You have to make sure they have gas. It's a lot of work. So, anyways, because I don't drive, I walk a lot, and I've got a system on how to do my groceries and how to do my laundry. Well, the laundry part is not driving because the laundry is right down here, but I also use the same system for when I go to the grocery store. And what I do is I take a luggage cart, the ones that well, I guess they're not as prevalent now because most suitcases have wheels. But back in the day, and they still make them, they fold up, and they have an extended handle when you unfold them. And so I take also these foldable bins, and hopefully if I edit it enough, you'll see it right here. And I put them in a bag, and I put the suitcase, what do you call it? The foldable suitcase carrier. I usually just call it my two-wheeler. I put that in a bag, and I put the bins in a bag, and I carry those on my shoulders, and then I go to a supermarket, and then I unfold my bins. I put my groceries in it. I stack it up. Well, today, for an example, I did the same thing with my laundry. I used to use a laundry basket, but that was just too cumbersome and too uncomfortable, and it was also harder to fold stuff because the laundry basket has an odd shape. They should make them square. But anyway, so now what I do is, because I wear I call it my uniform. I give a shout out to Steve Jobs because it's basically, I wear the same thing every day, and it's a tank top. I have a sports bra. I have these nice tight shorts and a pair of underwear and a pair of socks. That's my daily clothes, and they're all the same, so I don't have to worry about finding a certain one. I have 15 of these, so they last me 2 weeks. And what I do is I organize them in these little plastic bags. I put in one pair of shorts, one pair of socks, one pair of underwear, one sports bra, and one tank top. And then when I do my laundry, I sort those that way. I put them in there in the bins, and then when I carry them back, I just put them away in the drawer. And it's just a quick, easy way of doing laundry. It saves so much time. But when I use the luggage cart and the foldable bins, and I put the why am I having a hard time with these words now? The bungee cord over top of the bins, and it's easy for me to wheel them to where I need to go, wheel them back, and I can even carry it up the stairs holding the handle. And it's just such an easier way of doing things rather than carrying a bunch of bags. When the bag that I actually keep the foldable bins in is actually a hot cold bag from Whole Foods. So if I am transporting anything perishable, I can put it in that bag and then put it in the bin, and it works out really well. It's made me independent without a car. I can go to several places in the area and do my shopping and then come back with my groceries, and it's easy for me. And I can do my laundry without having to struggle with a laundry basket. So this is my solution, one of my senior citizens tips. And I hope you find this valuable, and I hope I remember to edit everything in that I want to show you, because I took some video of me using this system. So this is AprilPvd in PVD, living single, sober, and on a small budget.